All right, this is Mudita Hart here, and this is Pure PhD in the behind me is cracking up, and we're here to talk about Muppets Mayhem.
Can you picture that?
Can you picture that? Can you picture the classic song?
From the VHS that we owned in our childhood.
Yeah, big fans of Jim Henson. We have this Kermit the
I
Frog
always feel that you're the
here.
bigger Jim Henson fan. Like, I'm the
Maybe.
big. In case anyone knew, you're the bigger Jim Henson fan, and I'm the bigger Power Ranger fan or whatever.
I mean, like, I don't know. If I open up another window here, we could show people how big of a Jim Henson fan I am.
Yeah.
I can, like, my talk from Nerd Night.
Yeah. You probably, like, show clips of that in the background or something, right?
Let me see.
Just active production value. And like on our movie, we favorited all the Jim Henson shorts. And we went to the
This is literally me talking in front of
Museum
a
of
bar.
the Moving Image.
Museum of the Moving Image. This is literally me in a bar talking in front of a crowd of people about the life of Jim Henson based on
We
his
should watch that
biography.
again, actually, yeah.
Yeah, so definitely definitely a big Jim Henson fan, and like here's some of the things you can check out. Museum of the Moving Image here. They have a
Nice.
permanent exhibition of the Jim Henson exhibit. Here's the biography. Here's Street Gang, Michael Davis. Good book on
So
Sesame Street.
my franchise means less because it doesn't have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and then here's I'm at the Jim Henson bench in Potential Park.
I think that's in one of your videos, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah, big Jim Jim Henson fans, and of course, Kermit the Frog here. We have this guy.
Yeah.
But we don't even see like half of these things in Muppets Mayhem because it's focused on a very specific set of characters in the Muppets universe.
Should we talk about like what they said about the potential of this is successful?
So yeah, I guess so. That can parlay into this. I think that's the right word for it. Yeah, I guess I watched Pirates of the Caribbean recently also. But parlay.
That was the whole movie. Even.
Anyway, we're getting off track, but
it's still Disney.
Anyway, it is still Disney. Yeah. So totally lost track of what I was thinking. The Muppets. This is exploring a very specific section of the Muppets universe. It's exclusively focusing on the Muppets band, as you might know them from the Muppet Show. And like it's like Dr. Teeth and all the other characters.
Should I tell them about my my work at Disney? That story.
Sure.
So I used to work Disney Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
And I was training for the Disney dinosaur ride in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
And my trainer was like, "Oh, what if?" And this is very topical now because like Aerosmith is like on their farewell tour. I don't know if they're actually ending, but like, they're on their farewell tour now. So like, yeah, they were wondering if like for the Rock and Roller Coaster, if the Aerosmith license was gone, and like him and I think it was only him, like, but he had an impression on me that he was like, we should get Dr. Chief and the Electric Mayhem to replace Aerosmith on the Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah, the Muppets are they have their own kind of like they
had
a proposal for their whole own land inside Disney Hollywood Studios, and that was like part of like Jim Henson being brought into the Disney family around the 80s, but fortunately he passed away before that deal went through. There's a whole story behind that, but we won't have to get into it now. But yeah, later on the Muppets eventually joined Disney, and then now Disney's producing these shows and stuff. So they did Muppets Now in like 2020, and then in 2023, just like about 2 weeks ago, they released Muppets Mayhem featuring the Electric Mayhem Band, Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem Band.
They did Muppet Haunted Mansion, and those three things are excellent.
Muppet Haunted Mansion, exactly.
I was just talking about how like Muppets Now is probably better than The Office, better than Parks and Rec, more tasteful.
Muppets Now is not the ABC sitcom
What is it?
mockumentary called, which is also confusingly called The Muppets. Although it's stylized
and
as
the Muppets movie, and there's the Muppets the movie, but not called the movie.
So there's a film called the 2011 film called The Muppets, starring Jason Segel and Amy Adams. But then there's the Muppets TV show. Not to be confused with the Muppet Show.
Well, the Muppets was a good TV show. I think that's what really matters, right?
The Muppets TV series, stylized lowercase, the Muppets with
the
a period.
ABC font, straight out like theme parks with like Grey's Anatomy and all that stuff.
Yeah. This is like the behind the scenes of a Muppet like late night talk show.
Yeah.
Led by Miss Piggy, and it's kind of like a 30 Rock style, Office style, mockumentary style. It's actually pretty good.
Unfortunately, it happened like right after like 30 Rock was like declining at the time, probably.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we're just talking about Muppet stuff now in general before we talk about Muppets Mayhem. But that's kind of how it always happens.
This is a podcast, you know. Podcasts don't always go directly into the thing.
Yeah. It's always. I mean, anytime there's a opportunity to talk about movies, I'm happy to do it. But,
there you go. Yeah.
We'll give a timestamp probably for like where we actually talk about Muppets Mayhem. Which might be now. Even, I don't know. Are we done?
They actually say Parks and Rec over there in the Wikipedia.
They do? Oh, yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So it's a parody of other mockumentary-style series such as The Office, Modern Family, Parks and Rec, employing the same single-camera setup filming style, with the implication of a documentary crew filming everyone.
They have experience with it with Modern Family, I guess, on ABC also.
And it's also like there's a fictional late-night talk show with Miss Piggy in it.
I guess that was the traction for Modern Family for folks, because it was like The Office, sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, so this was really good. Muppets Now was not that good. It was like basically like a YouTube channel where they're all doing various YouTube segments on.
Okay,
So there's
so
it's a cool concept, but I didn't like that one that good.
3 out of 4 did it pretty well. It wasn't like Muppets in Space or Muppets Treasure Island.
Yeah. They've been pretty good recently. They've been
and it's not
pretty
like
good creative crew.
20 bad series of Power Rangers.
Yeah. Nothing's been as bad as that. Yeah, sorry to break it to you, but I don't know if
Why I oughta.
Yeah. Okay, I don't need to do that to you. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, Muppets is coming back, baby.
It really is.
Coming back. And speaking of which, there's the Muppets Mayhem. This show we enjoyed a lot. I think that's fair enough to say.
I would. Yeah, like probably. Yeah, it's like.
Where would you put it up there with?
I'll put it with live action Spirited Away in theaters, and even the bus ride to there, and even the food there, and not Ant-Man Quantumania.
Okay, so not Ant-Man Quantumania level.
Yeah.
But which we watched, but
which I didn't enjoy,
later.
which I didn't think was good, but you thought was good.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot. I had a great time.
Yeah. It was a great time, yeah.
But Spirited Away was obviously top tier.
Yeah.
In theaters. I guess I saw it twice. It was very good both times.
Yeah.
Excellent. But we still have to publish that podcast. I don't know how we're gonna edit that, but we'll figure it out later. We're behind. We've been busy.
Yeah.
But Muppets Mayhem. This is like their premiere of their show at Hollywood and in Hollywood. And then this is what the show looks like on Disney Plus. I guess I don't know. I think we're allowed to show this without clicking on anything. I think that might be fine.
I think people do that all the time.
Yeah, I think that's probably
don't
fine.
Make sure the video clips don't show up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's got 10 episodes, and it features the Muppets band. And like, I was kind of skeptical at first, honestly. Like, could like just this small section of Muppets characters like fill a series? And like there's only 6 Muppets characters.
There's no Kermit.
There's no Kermit. There's actually 0 Kermit in this, which is
And he was like, "Oh, we have to have the Muppets, man. Someone's got to show up," and then they don't show up.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if there was going to be like more cameos. There's like a few small, very small.
One cameo is really good.
Yeah.
The one in the end.
Yeah.
But
perfect. There's virtually no other Muppet characters, and I'm like, can they really hold a whole show with these characters? I mean,
and the other thing is like, there's no sets; it's all live, real locations.
Yeah, maybe it's all location shooting. Yeah.
Even like the house they have isn't really like a Muppet set. It's like a place where they all walk around as if it was like a human-sized house.
Yeah.
And they don't address like them opening doors or anything.
Right. It's typical. I mean, it's obviously like they built the set. Like, from what I know about how they do Muppet productions, usually they build a set such that like the performers can be like standing up 10 feet below.
Yeah.
And then like there's a place for human actors to stand.
Yeah.
So like their arms don't get tired or whatever for being cramped or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's probably something going on there when they had these sets. But side tangent. But anyway, it feels like these characters aren't really that fleshed out in other franchises. Like, you're always kind of wondering what their whole deal is, but they actually kind of like kind of really flesh out these characters and fulfill like, oh, what is this character's deal, what's like how they work in an ensemble. Like like before, like in the Muppet Show, they'd be kind of like only like a few notes on the keyboard compared to the whole piano of like all the other Muppet characters. Like, they'd just be playing music. But like now they're like actually fleshing out their backstories and like their personalities and stuff like that. And maybe this is gonna flesh out like, the first leg of a Muppet verse where like they're gonna have the backgrounds of other Muppet characters in the Muppet universe. But who knows? That's actually something they said in this Wikipedia here.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
People were criticizing the Tom Cruise movie for doing the same thing.
So yeah, they might actually like start branching out. Yeah.
One thing that came to mind since you mentioned it, like, I don't know if people are gonna be like, "Oh, canon. According to this canon, Animal would never do this." compared to like something in the '60s or whatever.
Yeah, there's not really like that much.
It's more of an idea of the character, like the character, as opposed to like, what do you call it? Like comic book editing of the universe.
Like retconning or something
Not
like
really
that.
retconning, but like you're keeping all the universe like together. So like for this huge comic book editor,
Like a multiverse.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they gotta like keep
Like there's
everything
all these
consistent.
events like for like 100 comics are based on like this one storyline or whatever.
Yeah, like honestly, like because these characters are so unfleshed out,
Yeah.
that means they don't have to deal with continuity issues. With like, oh,
They were
well,
probably like the '60s where like it was all sitcoms and stuff. So like
yeah,
you don't have to worry about like arcs and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, like comic book fans and comic books are very serious about like having continuity and like, like a fan will complain, oh, the Flash doesn't eat donuts, but in this latest comic he's eating a donut, and then like, oh, but he only has donuts while drinking coffee. Okay. Because there's gonna be one fan who points it out because in 1978 he says he doesn't like eating donuts and like so sitcoms don't have that issue really.
I guess
People give a lot of leeway for sitcoms.
I mean, there was some of that even with the Power Ranger special Once and Always, but like,
sure.
What happened to the White Ranger? Where's all the turbo powers?
Right.
When it really doesn't matter for that thing.
Right. Yeah, something about having live actors and stuff just makes people feel like it's less.
Well, the thing with Power Rangers, like, after the season's over, like, the powers are destroyed or they move on to another one to combine the powers or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, it doesn't really matter.
They honestly did do a pretty decent job at like having fun callbacks and like continuity references to like the different Power Rangers series that involve that main cast.
And it didn't explain everything,
Yeah, and like they just threw in a few here and there for fun, but like they didn't like have to go into it all. It wasn't like super deep. It was like a one episode's hour special or whatever. But anyway, we're getting on Power Rangers again.
Yeah.
But like in comparison with this, like they have like 10 episodes. It's not that long. Where it's like it's really exhaustive.
Yeah.
But it's also long enough that like each episode has to have enough content to like actually kind of explore these characters.
I feel the episode sizes are pretty good. Yeah, like especially when you have like 5 minutes of credits or whatever.
Yeah, these episodes are like 30 minutes or so, and then like there's 10 episodes.
And like you have the outro too, which is like another 2 minutes.
Yeah, and then there's like a little stinger at the end or whatever. But yeah, like it's a pretty tight series. It's like a mini series really. It doesn't have to be too elaborate. They do set up a sequel, like a season 2 kind of, if they want to do that. But it also kind of ends on a good note too. Yeah. It doesn't have to go into that either. Yeah. But
I mean, with all the budgeting stuff and all the stuff going on at Disney, maybe they weren't sure if they were going to do it. First, they're going to see if this season does well.
Yeah.
With like the watch miss and everything. Yeah.
But I think we're putting the cart before the horse now. Yeah. We should actually talk about like why we like the series. Right. Because we've been talking for like 10 minutes about like side things and Power Rangers and stuff. So like, why do we like this series? Yeah, it's fine. Why do we like the series? I don't know. Do you want to take
it? Didn't offend me. The stories they weren't complicated. They weren't like, but they were like simple. I sort of like complicated things, but I sort of like simple things at the same time.
Yeah.
Everyone does a good job. The acting was great. I liked how I talked about how they don't talk to the Muppets as if they were Muppets. They were talking to them as if they were humans or whatever.
Yeah. And, that's an important like lore thing that like inside Muppets.
I'm pretty sure like
that's part of like it's in the books and stuff that like you have to talk to the Muppets that they're like people or whatever. They're not puppets or whatever.
The original green screen, the Muppets,
Yeah, you have to have that suspension of disbelief, otherwise it like kind of breaks down or something.
Yeah, like it was like some toxic masculine dude like working on Muppets. You'd be like, "This is ridiculous."
Yeah, you can't have the wrestling WWE franchise working with Muppets, really.
I was just feeling like Burt Reynolds or someone who's like who thinks is like above him or whatever.
Oh yeah, you have to. That's the thing is that it has to be very earnest.
Yeah.
You have to have like a Taj Mowry or whatever.
Yeah.
Like working with the Muppets, you know. Like, and that's one of the lead actors of this is Let's scroll through this
I
quick.
didn't know he still. I wonder what made him come back. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, Taj Mowry
Lily
as
Singh
Moog. Taj Mowry is known as
he's
smart guy on
the brother of
the main character TJ on the WB back in the day on the 90s.
yeah,
He was born in Honolulu, Hawaii. No way. All right.
that's
Oh,
pretty cool.
his relatives are Tia and Tamara Mowry.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
there's the whole family there. Yeah,
Wow, wow. All right. But yeah, he was a smart guy. And then Lily Singh is known for her YouTube content, I believe.
yeah. It's
She,
just I sort of find her a little bit too obnoxious on YouTube. But I thought she was pretty good for this.
yeah, like these the acting in this is pretty grounded.
Yeah,
And like I think like what you're saying with the acting and the characters and the earnestness and like the stories being like kind of wholesome. Like the core of this series is like it's a sitcom about this band, and sure they like get into hijinks and like there's like kind of like psychedelic references and stuff like that and all
oh
that.
yes, that was a lot of fun.
There's a lot of goofy stuff like that, but it's still wholesome. They make it accessible to kids. But at the center of the series is like the interpersonal dynamics of the characters, like their backstories with their families, their the Electric Mayhem themselves being a family, the human characters' families and interpersonal dynamics and love interests and love triangles and stuff like that. Those are the things that really keep the series grounded. If you just got into all the goofiness, then you kind of lose the plot of like what makes it a good Muppets thing.
I'll be like the script is really good when they do the comedy and stuff.
Yeah, and that kind of enables them to like really go out there and be goofy and stuff. But it's got to be
It's
grounded.
10 episodes, but like the comedy's very good script writing, like top tier.
Yeah, yeah, and like they
There's
really
like
throw a lot of punches at you. Like they don't let you. There's not a lot of downtime between like they're gonna throw in the next punchy joke and like it's really got a high density and good hit ratio of like here's a pun, here's a joke, here's a visual gag, here's another in character joke, here's another thing that this character would say. Like there's a good diversity of characters that really have a lot of interesting personalities here with all the Electric Mayhem members and stuff.
One thing that occurred to me
Good
is that
screen time.
and the pilot's very strong. Is like that quadruple pun with like Pink Floyd and everything.
Oh, which one?
The Wall, the Who, the
Oh,
the Cranberries or whatever.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is like since it's about like a classic rock band from like 50 years ago.
Yeah,
they're able to just inundate this with a whole bunch of classic rock jokes and stuff like that. And like, there's also there's all these recurring gags of like, oh yeah, I know these guys from way back in the day. Yeah, these guys taught me all this and stuff. And like, I'm trying to think of an example of that. Like someone from the Carpenters or whatever would be like, oh yeah, this is the guy who taught me how to walk like an Egyptian or whatever.
We gotta get the Carpenters to work on the wall. The Who? That's what it was. Yeah.
Right, that was it. Yeah. And like, right, and like, yeah, they really, and then like some episodes, like one whole episode is just filled with Beatles references, and like some of them are like really subtle. Like if you didn't know the Beatles or whatever, like you'd be like, oh, okay, I didn't. Like they just really sneak it in there into the dialogue really slyly. So they're thinking, you know.
And that's really good for like rewatchability in case you missed it. Like, whoa, I gotta watch it again. I heard it in the coffee table or whatever, or the water cooler or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's rewatchable. There's like lots of little kind of like gags and Easter eggs and like puns and stuff, and not just like goofy puns, but like actual like kind of clever. Like it made me think for a second.
It wasn't like Marvel humor.
Yeah. What do you mean by that? Yeah.
It wasn't like you're supposed to laugh at it, but we're not gonna make it good. Like it was actually like well-written, witty stuff with like layers and complexity and stuff.
Interesting. It's not like just people saying something funny in a funny way. Like
it feels like a little bit like Thomas Petroni even.
And just okay, you gotta explain this a little bit. Like
Thomas Petroni will like have
layers.
Will have like a whole thing in Gravity's Rainbow where it just references like 20 things that happens. And once there's 20 things that happens in the current events or something.
Wow, okay. So yeah, they really string along a lot of different references and jokes. Like they'll have like, then they'll have like Floyd Pepper make a reference to like the 80s or whatever. Then Janice will reference like some like hippy dippy shamanistic
or being vegan.
Psychedelica or being vegan and organic stuff. Then Animal will go off, and then and then Lips will like bring in a celebrity or something, and then Zoot will say, "Huh, what celebrity?" And it'll just like string along in these jokes. They'll all play off each other in the script, and like you can tell the script is really tightly made and stuff. Like they put in a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
didn't
work
look up
into it.
if there was any improv involved either.
Yeah, yeah. I think there was room for like spontaneity, of course, in the
Yeah.
performances, but like the scripts must have been really tightly made to like
Yeah,
really
maybe
be all
because
there.
like the Big Lebowski, like that one scene, like is all scripted apparently.
Like the scene where it's like "Shut the heck up, Donnie" or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever, and like
exactly. Yeah,
all the little pauses and everything.
and then like what the subject's like what? I mean, Donnie.
Okay, can we just like show an image of what that looks like?
Yeah,
Even if we don't necessarily
yeah,
like show the clip.
yeah.
But Big Lebowski bowling scene is probably good.
Yeah.
This one, this one.
No, it's when they're arguing with each other.
Shut
There
the
you
F
go.
up, Donnie.
Yeah. You're probably one of those.
Donnie's best moments.
Yeah, the second or the third one. Yeah.
Just gonna mute this
Yeah.
and then
This
just
is
kind
still
of
probably copyright, actually. Yeah, maybe if you keep in the black and gray, it's fine. Yeah, there you go.
try to see. It doesn't have the subtitles.
Yeah.
So like he's just yelling at Donnie here,
Oh.
Shut the F up, Donnie. Hey, what do you mean by that? Shut the F up, Donnie. This is Donnie's best moments. It's not
This
just
is actually a very interesting way of getting past copyright. Just making black and gray, like going back and forth.
You get the idea.
Yeah.
And I think I have the rights to this because I'm the performer.
Yeah.
This is not. I don't think they have like a thing with
Yeah, I think I won't mind.
Yeah. They don't have it licensed to like Sony Entertainment or whatever.
Yeah.
If they do, I would like to see those residuals.
Yeah, there you go.
But this for 4,000 views, I don't think that's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a great show, and like, oh yeah, all the music is really good, and like, there's moments that like I'm laughing, I'm crying. Like some of the musical moments are like so touching. Like they choose like these perfect song choices, and, like really subtle performances. Like they don't go like really big and obnoxious that you might think with the Muppets all the